With all of the powerful benders in the Avatar world, it's easy to overlook a non-bender like Sokka. And maybe at first he was at a disadvantage. But by the end of the series, Sokka had grown into a non-bending force to be reckoned with. So let's take a look at the evolution of Sokka. When Sokka's father went with the men of the Southern Water Tribe to fight in the war, Sokka, too young to go with them, was left behind, tasked by his father to take care of the home front. From that point on, Sokka saw himself as a warrior of the Southern Water Tribe.
Now, men, it's important that you show no fear when you face a firebender. In the Water Tribe, we fight to the last man standing. For without courage, how can we call ourselves men?
I gotta pee.
His skills, however, didn't quite match his self-given title. So when Sokka set out on his journey with Katara and Aang, he still had a lot to learn, especially if he wanted to hold his own with the benders he surrounded himself with. But his first lesson would be a lesson in ego and how it can hinder growth.
Sorry, ladies, didn't mean to interrupt your dance lesson. I was just looking for somewhere to get a little workout.
Sokka was a proud warrior, sometimes possibly too proud, set in a narrow-minded worldview.
Wait a second, there's no way a bunch of girls took us down.
By remaining closed-minded, Sokka was effectively cutting himself off from the vast knowledge he could gain from women like the Kyoshi warriors. So it wasn't until Suki forced him to confront this flaw that he was finally able to grow.
I would be honored if you would teach me.
Even if I'm a girl?
I'm sorry if I insulted you earlier. I was wrong.
We normally don't teach outsiders, let alone boys.
Please make an exception. I won't let you down.
Humbled and ready to learn, Sokka sought lessons from the Kyoshi warriors, and thus opened himself up to change, no longer letting pride get in the way of personal growth.
Wait for an opening and then...
Sokka also considered himself a skilled strategist, but his first real chance to demonstrate his cunning was during a visit to the Northern Air Temple, when he helped the Mechanist develop a clever way to locate an odorless gas.
If we put a whole mess of rotten eggs in the cellar where the gas seeps up,
The gas will mix with the smell of rotten eggs.
then if there's a leak,
You smell rotten eggs. Then you just follow your nose to the place where the smell is coming from.
and plug up the hole where the gas is escaping.
You're a genius!
And even designed functioning war balloons to help fight off the Fire Nation.
If you control the hot air, you control the war balloon.
That's actually pretty smart.
By this point, his knowledge and experience fighting the Fire Nation, coupled with his knack for strategy, made him a valuable asset on the battlefield. Which is why during the Siege of the North, it was Sokka who instructed the Northern Water Tribe warriors on techniques for taking on the Fire Nation, and provided essential support.
Sokka, I want you to tell everything you know to Han. He's leading this mission.
More comfortable now in a leadership role, Sokka redoubled his efforts to keep Team Avatar on task, pushing them to spend their free time researching and gathering intel on the Fire Nation.
I'd like to spend my vacation at the library!
And it paid off, because their trip to the library provided them with vital information on how to best take on the Fire
The
Nation.
sun is behind the moon. It's a solar eclipse. It's literally the darkest day in Fire Nation history. Now I get it. Something awful happened on that day. I don't know what, but I do know why. Firebenders lose their bending during a solar eclipse.
Once considered a child, too young and inexperienced to fight with the men of the Southern Water Tribe, Sokka's growth was apparent when he next encountered his father, Hakoda.
Sokka.
Hi, Dad.
Sokka had matured into a valuable asset in the fight against the Fire Nation, and Hakoda's pride was evident as he counted his son among the men of the tribe.
What should I do, Dad?
Aren't you listening? I said the rest of you men get ready for battle.
From then on, Sokka dedicated himself to planning the invasion of the Fire Nation on the day of Black Sun. But while the rest of Team Avatar used their bending skills to accomplish remarkable tasks, it was clear that Sokka felt a bit self-conscious about his lack of any bending skill. Determined to prove himself and keep up with his bending counterparts, Sokka sought out a powerful teacher in the art of swordsmanship, Master Piandao, despite the fact that they were behind enemy lines.
And I know one thing for sure. I have a lot to learn.
The humility that he learned from Suki and his adventures thus far seemed to impress Piandao, and he agreed to take Sokka as a student. While at first it was clear that Sokka's swordsmanship had a long way to go, he slowly began advancing, thanks in part to the teachings of Piandao, but also to his own cleverness. He used that same strategic mind he used in battle previously and was able to approach sparring matches in unique and unexpected ways. And this trait was reflected when he forged his own sword, once again taking a unique and creative path.
Do you think we can make a sword out of a meteorite?
We'll make a sword unlike any other in the world.
Resulting in a one-of-a-kind new blade. So when his training culminated in a battle with Piandao himself, the Swordmaster recognized Sokka's knack for incorporating strategy into his fighting style.
Excellent. Using your superior agility against an older opponent. Smart.
And ultimately granted Sokka his approval. Equipped with great swordsmanship, strategic ability, and powerful determination, Sokka was ready to help launch the Day of Black Sun invasion, even going as far as to design new machinery to aid in the attack. But when the time came for Sokka to take the lead, however, the pressure of his new role unfortunately got the best of him.
So, as you know, today we're invading the Fire Nation. I mean, I know you know that, because otherwise why else would you be here? Anyway. The Fire Lord's palace is here. Wait, it's here. And there's an eclipse today. And Aang's gonna fight the Fire Lord. And the Firebenders won't have any fire to use, so that's good for us. And
his father had to step in to pick up the slack. Seeing his father as such a strong leader inspired him even more, giving him something to strive for. And when the day was lost, Sokka learned from his role model the importance of knowing when to attack and when to regroup to try again another day.
we could still win.
Yes, with the Avatar we could still win, on another day. You kids have to leave. You have to escape on Appa together.
We'll be prisoners, but we'll all survive this battle.
But Sokka wasn't ready to give up on his allies, devising a plan to personally infiltrate the Boiling Rock prison to set his allies free. And through use of planning, combat skill, and patience, he succeeded, illustrating just how far he had come. Where there was once arrogance, there was now humility. Where there was once nervousness, there was now confidence. And where there was once inexperience, there was now discipline and skill. So when Sozin's Comet came around, Sokka was able to utilize his leadership, his cleverness, and his physical skill, ultimately playing a colossal role in taking down the Fire Nation and saving the world from their destructive campaign.
We need to stay focused on stopping that fleet from burning down the Earth Kingdom.
And how do we do that, Captain Boomerang? I can't see outside of this floating hunk of metal.
Airship slice!
Throughout the series, Sokka was surrounded by powerful benders, royalty, and even the Avatar himself. But he stands strong among these powerful individuals, proving to himself and proving to us that anyone can achieve greatness.